We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Today, the Tigers are wrapping up an absolutely gorgeous day of baseball here with the final game of the road trip as we welcome you to Arlington, Texas. It is Game 3 in this series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Texas Rangers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Kirk Gibson. Glad to have you with us from Globe Life Park here in Arlington. Gibby, I don't know if you saw the lineup today, but a few changes for the Tigers.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's good to be back. Welcome 2018 spring training. It's going to be an exciting year.
Gibby, it's May. We're in Texas.
That's right. Well, the lineup has changed. We know Miggy's already out of the lineup. Lenny Martin is out of the lineup. Nick got hit on the knee last night. It blew up. He swelled. He's out of the lineup. Vimar's out of the lineup because he needs a rest. So everybody's saying, oh my gosh, but Gardy's talked about it. These guys compete no matter what. This is what we call the reverse lock. It's a lock we're going to win this game because nobody thinks we're going to win the game.
All right, now the Tigers will have certainly Jeimer Candelario in the lineup today, and there really has been one constant this year, and that's Candelario.
And you just look back to the trade that was made last year that brought Candy here. Outstanding. We got everything we thought we were going to get and better. Yesterday had another big game. Hit the big home run to lead off in the first inning, got the Tigers on the board. It led to a 5-spot. And he also made a huge play in the 8th inning where he made a great pick here. They had the shift on, cut down Profar, and that got the Tigers out of it. They went on to win the game. So he's been a big addition to this Tiger team.
All right, Tigers hoping for a win here today. The rubber game of this match against the Rangers. Tigers, Texas, just minutes away. But in the meantime, let's go back to the Coliseum studios now. John Keating.
So we get it cut out.
Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Ram, built to serve. Back here in Arlington, Globe Life Park, where it's a very steamy afternoon for baseball, but still by Texas standards right now. Pretty cool. I mean, it's a nice day. Mario and Pemba, Kirk Gibson, Trevor Thompson with us here this afternoon. And it's going to be Francisco Liriano on the hill this afternoon for the Tigers. And Gibby, in his last start, he was pretty good.
Awesome. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, a run. He did take the loss, however, but he's got the great slider. You know you're going to see that. He also likes to pound that fastball on the inside part of the plate. The defense better be ready. 5 strikeouts, 9 of them ground outs. That's good. You keep it on the ground. You let your boys take care of your business for you. You walk a guy, somebody makes an error, you erase them as well. A little stat about how he gets outs per ground ball. He's up there as one of the league leaders, so it'll be important for him to get it on the ground today and for our defense to be ready to go.
Well, today's game will feature 2 of the veteran pitchers in the game, including Bartolo Colon and Francisco Liriano of the Tigers. And Chris Basio, the Tigers pitching coach, talks about this veteran matchup.
We know what Bartolo's going to do. He's going to sink the ball. He's going to pitch in off the plate. He's going to use his sinker and change speeds with it. And they know what Liriano's going to do. He's going to throw his sinker. He's going to pitch inside and throw it off the plate. So you got a couple of veteran sinker ballers going at it. Both very well respected, I'll say, young men. And it's a joy to watch, both of them pitch.
Well, it should be a fun one here this afternoon. As far as the Tigers are concerned, Gibby, I don't think they could be any more enamored with what they've gotten out of Liriano. He has arguably been their most consistent guy all season long.
Great pickup by
So Liriano will be hooked up with Mr. Bartolo Colon. And here is the Tigers starting lineup for this one this afternoon. The Tigers have Jones, Candelario, and Matuk. Mikey back up to the big leagues. John Hicks batting cleanup. Nico Goodrum is in right. James McCann will DH today. Griner, Iglesias, and Pete Cosma are rounding it out. The Tigers starting lineup today presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And you see the veteran Bartolo Colon tuning up on the hill for the Rangers.
Yep, 44 years old. It's amazing what he's able to do. His fastball will be below 90 almost every pitch. But watch the movement on it. He knows how to spot that around 85% fastballs right now. But like I say, there won't be many straight ones. He will throw the 4-seamer up high in the zone. And this would be a fun game to compete against a guy who's persevered for so long around the game of baseball. Let's take a look at the Rangers starting defense. Out there in left field, Ryan Rua. Delano DeShields in center. Nomar Mazara in right. Renato Nunez at third base. Joey Gallo over there at first base. Kiner Falefa. Give me the right one on that, would you, Mario?
Isaiah Kiner Falefa. But who cares? Close enough.
Jurickson Profars at shortstop. Carlos Perez is catching. They had a lineup change behind the plate. Bartolo Colon on the mound.
Well, Ron Gardenhire felt a whole lot better about his team after last night's game. Game 1 of the series, very, very sloppy defensively. The Tigers let a 5-1 lead get away, but they bounced back nicely last night. And you've got Jacoby Jones getting things started. Jones, Candelario, and Matuk facing the veteran Bartolo Colon on a bright sunny day here in Arlington. And here we go. The first one of the ball game is high to Jacoby. Jones in the series 2 out of 10. He has a couple of doubles. 1-0 pitch will sink in there for a strike.
I don't think Colon, he hasn't walked a guy in I don't know how many games, or maybe one. He's just does not do it.
Well, when you look at his numbers overall this year, only 3 walks in 38 1/3 innings. So Colon might put the ball in play and let his defense work. Jones sends a ground ball to third, scooped up there by Nunez, and 1 gone. By the way, if the Tigers do combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the Tiger Box right to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. A free small order of curly fries will be yours.
Yeah, we had curly fries by the second inning. Some people were leaving the game to get their fries.
Yeah, 2 in the first inning and the home run by Iglesias in the second inning. Jamer Candelario hit one of those home runs in the first. It was Jamer's 5th of the year. Here's the 1-0. Chopper to the right side of the infield, gobbled up there by Kiner Falefa, and they're 2 away. So already a couple of ground ball outs for Cologne, who really is a marvel. I mean, I know Cologne at times people have looked at him and they've snickered, but this guy over the years has been one of the best pitchers in baseball.
He really has. He's been to many teams. He's actually been to more than one team per year. And, you know, he doesn't have the greatest body in the world, but he's got some athleticism within it. And when you look at pitchers who come up a certain way, he was a flamethrower for Cleveland. He came up to Cleveland. You never really know the guys that are going to be able to master the release point, because that's really what it's all about. They learn how to repeat their delivery right where that ball's released. And they just work their wrists and their finger pressure where they place it on the ball. That makes the ball do funny things.
Mikey Matuk is back in the big leagues, called up last night after Leonis Martin was placed on the disabled list. So Matuk, off to a slow start this year, was sent down, but he was raking at AAA in his last 10 games.
Didn't take him long to get here, I'll tell you. He's went down there. He was struggling, struggled for a while in Toledo, but has been hot. So the call is perfect timing.
Mikey lines on the left field. That'll get down a base hit and more. It's going to split the gap and go to the wall. He might get 3 out of this. He'll take the turn. Coming to third base. Here's the relay. He is safe. A diving triple for Mikey Matuk.
That had to feel good. Come back, raked one in the gap, get to run it. All pumped up. Head in the count. Got a ball that he liked in his zone. Split the gap. Runs good, as we know. The reaction here at the end.
Mikey needed no help from Dave Clark. Their play was right in front of him. Once he saw it go to the wall, he was off to the races. Early scoring chance now for the Tigers. Here's John Hicks. Foul tip, strike 1 on Hicks. So no Cabrera, of course, on the DL. No Martin. No Castellanos today, and no Victor Martinez. The Tigers extremely shorthanded. Now Martinez is available. Nick, not sure on his availability. I'm sure if he needed a hit, he could. He was hit on the knee last night. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hicks. Popped up into right field. It's going to be playable for Mazzara, and that'll end the threat. No runs. A 2-out triple is stranded. We go to the bottom of the first. On the hill for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
7th start this season. 4th quality start of the season. His last start out of Kansas City. Went 7 innings, and we talked about the slider. You see the ERA under 3. Whip at 1.07. That's great numbers, both of them.
Here is DeShields, and he drops down a bunt foul. DeShields, their speedy leadoff man, is batting .301. He's had a good start to the year, although he's come on lately. He recently had a 10-game hitting streak. Spent some time on the DL as well with a broken bone in his hand. Swing and a miss.
His speed has played big in this series, both defensively and on the base pass. We'll have some StatCast information a little later in the game on him. Show you just how fast he really runs, cuts the corners.
Well, DeShields has scored 4 runs in the first 2 games in this series, utilizing that speed. He is 2 out of 8. Here is Liriano's 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Delino DeShields Jr. Liriano has allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 6 of his starts this year. Missing high, now he's gone full 3-2. Connor Falefa waiting on deck. And he walked him, ball 4, so he got ahead of DeShields. And then he walked him. Here's the rest of the Rangers lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. There's Connor Falefa coming in. He is followed by Mazzara and Beltre and Gallo. That's a pretty powerful middle of the lineup. Profar's had a decent series. Then Nunez, Rua, and Perez. Chirinos was to start behind the plate, but he's got a sore wrist, so it's Perez. Isaiah Kiner Falefa now with the leadoff man on. We'll keep an eye on DeShields. Strike 1, upper reaches of the strike zone.
2 walks in his last start, Francisco, so you don't want to certainly give a walk to DeShields, but when we were talking about the ground balls, so he needs one right here and erase these 2 fast runners.
Griner tries to block it. DeShields got a good read on it, and he will scoot into second base.
When you're a base runner, you want to try and see the catcher go to his knees, and when he does and the ball bounces away, you go. If you watch him right up here, he immediately goes. He's in there easily. So a free pass and a wild pitch. It's not how we had it drawn up, but we'll deal with it.
Pickoff look, nobody covering second, so Liriano held on to the baseball. Connor Falefa, a couple of home runs this year. He's got a double in the series, 2 out of 8, and he sprays that one foul.
Now just think back the last game that Griner caught. They took a little bit of advantage of the young kid, stole a couple bases on him, 2nd and 3rd. Now the Rangers have scouted that game, so they're going to try and put pressure on him. The scouting report probably would say that he did not throw well or they didn't handle it well. They are definitely trying to influence Griner and behind the plate, pitcher Liriano, getting them to worry about stealing the base. So Iglesias checking right up behind DeShields.
Griner at Toledo this year was at 26%. For his career in the minor leagues, a 33% thrower. Trying to hold DeShields as close as possible to second. Now they 2-2. Ground ball toward 3rd, foul.
Kind of Khalifa getting his hands in right there, but he still got in there. Liriano loves to pound the right-handers in on the hands.
Chopped left side, again foul just outside of the bag. Connor Falefa 3 for his last 26 at bats. Although by and large a decent year for a rookie, the third most hits among rookies in the American League. Ball high, and now the count fills again at 3-2.
2-3-2 counts to the first two batters. That's not a good indicator yet, but Liriano is a veteran pitcher who's probably trying to make some adjustments on the mound right now. DeShields is being distracting back there on second.
There he goes. Bouncer up the middle. Iglesias will throw out Connor Falefa, and the runner advances to third with 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. A couple of new faces in the lineup today. Mikey Matuk in left field is one of them. Jacoby Jones in center. Nico Gudrum in right today. Candyman's at third. John Hicks at first. That's the same. Iglesias also. Pete Cosma is up from AAA, and he's at second base today. Grayson Griner behind the plate. Of course, you know Francisco Liriano is pitching.
There's Mikey Matuk out in left field today in his first game back. Infield coming in now in the first inning for the Tigers. Ball 1 high. I talked to Ron Gardenhire about this when the team was in Baltimore. I asked him, it seemed like a lot of teams now are bringing the infield in the first inning or the second inning. And Gibby, it used to be not that long ago that you never did this in the first.
Not early in the game, right? They're trying to cut him down because it puts pressure. Probably remember the Cardinals under Tony La Russa. They used to always bring the corners in and lead the shortstop and the second baseman back. And then when the pitcher became set, they would rush up right before the pitch is made, just to create an illusion of pressure. And they come up and they tried not to give you time to reset your thought process. And you do see different things happen when you're the hitter. And it does put pressure on you. Some don't handle it as well, and they feel they have a better opportunity to get out of this inning with no runs by doing what they're doing.
And Liriano delivers a strike up top. 2-2. Mazzara trying to drive in a run here.
It's interesting to watch. This is infield in. See Iglesias where he's at. Look at his depth here. Look at Pete over here. He's a little deeper. He's a veteran guy. This is just where he feels comfortable. A lot of it has to do with what they do in their pre-pitch. So some just stand still. Some of them do a little hop in place. Some take a couple steps in. But Kozma thinks that he can still get the runner if it's hit to him. In that position, that's where he's comfortable. He'll come in a little bit.
Ball 4 high, and so that'll put 2 men on. Liriano going to a full count on the first 3 batters that he has faced, and so the pitch count is elevated early. 20 already. And 2 walks already now for Liriano.
Yeah, they'll drop back, go for the double play now.
Here is Beltre. He is DHing today. Came off the DL after a hamstring injury in last night's game and showed up with 3 hits. Way high, 1-0, and you can tell early on here that Liriano is struggling with the release point. He falls behind again. Numbers on Beltre good, .330 batting average. Knocked in a couple of runs last night. Slap foul, 1-1.
Liriano, if he gets in a bad count here, I would not be surprised if he pitched around Beltre. He's got Gallo behind him, and he probably thinks he can get him out. Veteran pitchers, they'll pick their poison. He'll try to manage his way out of this inning most efficiently as he can.
Mazzara chased back. This is only the third game this year that Beltre has been the designated hitter. Busted him inside but missed. Now the count 2-1.
Been behind every hitter so far. A little double play ball might put him on track. There's the sac fly zone. Anything in front of the red line closer to the plate works.
Drill to left field. Matuk diving, can't make the play. One run will score as to Shields comes in. Mazzara will go to second, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
This ball knuckled. Could tell the way Mikey went after it. Thought he had a beat on it. And then he looked like a misplay, but this ball, I believe, is knuckling. It's lucky that he kept it in front of himself. The run was going to score either way. Keeps it in front of himself, and the two runners holding at first and second.
It's the third RBI of the series now for Beltre. Still only one out, and here is Joey Gallo. Shifting on the infield against the power hitting Gallo. Ball one. Well, the one thing Liriano has had going for him this year, lefties are batting .088 against him, only 3 for 34 coming in.
That's him having some of his command, though. He's definitely struggling here.
Yeah, you're right. And there's another one missing outside, 2-0.
If you're Chris Bazio, you're probably thinking visit. Greiners. See, I would think if Greiner goes out, the pitching coach, you'd want to go out in a situation like this. You know what I mean? You don't want to make it 2 visits under the new rule. Take a look at his pitch count. 15 balls, 12 strikes. That's 27.
The only out, he's recorded the ground out by Connor Falefa. Swing and a miss. Well, you talk about wide open stances, and Gallo has about as wide open a stance as you can find. That front foot is nearly out of the batter's box on the side batter's box line.
Well, it's got to be all the way out, and he's got range. Like a condor, he's a big boy. He's got long legs, long arm.
Swing and a miss, and Liriano comes back to get him.
Excellent. Good recovery. Saw the pitches right now. Let's take a look. Down the way, down the way. The way he still kind of bails. You know, he's got that open stance you were talking about. Kind of bails when he puts his leg down. Tigers are going to stay away.
Here is Jurickson Profar with 2 outs, and Liriano an opportunity now to get out of the inning with only 1 run. There's the strike 0-1.
Profar 385 versus lefties. That's against 212 against the right-handers. Last night, Gardy turned him around, making bat left-handed against the righty, and it worked.
Popped up, shallow right field. Cosma back, and he'll make the play, and they minimize the damage. Long inning for Liriano, but it's 1-0 Rangers. We'll be bringing you the big money encounter here as we go to the second inning. Nico Goodrum will get things started. Goodrum, then McCann and Griner in the first one from the right-hander. Cologne is outside. Here it is, 1,769 career games played. That is the fewest for the Tigers in a long time. And I guess it just kind of indicates what kind of lineup the Tigers had to put out today since '02 in big league games played. This lineup has not had many.
Well, when you have injuries, the way the Tigers have had injuries, it's going to force you to play. I give Gardy credit. You know, a lot of people would have played Victor, and he realizes that he needs to rest him, or he's going to get hurt.
Goodrum is out in right field today, so he continues his tour around the diamond. He's played just about everywhere.
That's why they got him.
Batting .193, 1 home run. That was early in the month of April in Chicago. Turned out to be a big one, leading to a Tigers win. And Cologne tried to thread the outside corner, couldn't do it. 3-2. Bouncing ball right side. It'll be another ground ball out for Cologne as Connor Falefa throws him out.
Let's take a look at Bartolo Colon. These are both fastballs. The one on the left is going to go to the left side of the plate. Leave it right there. One on the right sinks down in. See these two fingers right here? There's just a little extra pressure on this finger probably right there. And then this one, he puts a little extra on this one. You can just see the end of it's just a little different. That's what you learn how to do. Go ahead and release it. One goes just 12 inches to the left. One goes to the right. It's such a small adjustment, but he's obviously very good at it. I don't know if you could see that middle finger on the one on the left was just curled around just a little more.
McCann looks at a strike at the inside corner. 1-1.
So just so you know how we do that, we go to the release point and then back it up so we know that it's synced up. And that shows you how they make their little adjustments.
1-2 on James. Angel Hernandez behind the dish today.
Big strike caller.
Two and two now on McCann. How about the Bernstein advantage for James McCann? A 7-game hitting streak, 370 in that span.
Yeah, he's been raking. Feeling good, very calm. You can always tell in the lower half. It's just kind of slow and soft, not charging at the ball.
Oh, look out. That one got Santiago. Ramon Santiago drilled on that line drive, and fortunately it looks like it got him on the arm.
They got to look at that.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the coaches wear helmets. Here comes Doug Teeter.
Got to look at that. That's it hit him hard.
Ramon saying I'm all right, but they're going to check him out.
He's not feeling too much there right now. Look how quick they got down there. Everybody's going to try and be tough there, but I don't know. They might want to go get an X-ray on that. Monobone, he's going to be tough. Look at him.
Yeah, it looked like it got him on the what, the forearm maybe.
Yeah, well, the muscle would be better, from my experience. Obviously, you don't want to get anything on the bone, but that thing's going to lift right up. You're going to see threads on that, and it's going to swell up. That's the painful part.
Ramon now taking a few extra steps deeper.
That's where he should be.
Flared foul, back out of play. They have the coaching boxes down at first and third. Santiago's a good, I don't know, 20 feet behind the box now at first base.
And Todd Tishner just ran over to him when he backed up and said, no, you got to get in the box. Just kidding.
Now McCann sends a ground ball to third, foul. That was an easy play there for Clarkie. Clarkie saying that was simple.
Clarkie gets down there, way down there. I'm going to say we're fortunate that they got him on the arm. You'd hate to see it get any higher.
Just outside now, 3-2 on McCann. Clarkie's been giving it to Santiago. Unfortunately, Ramon can laugh about it right now. Another foul back out of play. Good at bat here for James.
Clarkie got an easier one here, though. He got the little number.
See, this is easy, he said. Come on.
I tell you, it's a reminder, though. They should play that around the league. All the coaches that are out there in the boxes. Don't let your guard down, boys.
9-pitch at bat. And McCann is called looking, strike 3. He thought it was high. Upper reaches of the strike zone. Angel Hernandez punching him out of there.
Start of the game. Angel will be part of this game, I'm sure. He's looking there, and look how he just feathered that back in on the corner. Got to give him credit. Colon knew exactly where he wanted to throw it and put it right there, and that was the strike.
Two outs now. Here's Grayson Greiner, who is 1 for 4 in his major league debut in KC. And Greiner looks at ball 1.
Tell you the guy, this umpire, if he gets on base, he would come and stand right here. I went out there and stood in batting practice one day. That's really close for coaches.
Long throw and a scoop at first is not in time. And Greiner is aboard. It'll be a base hit. Infield single for Greiner.
Trying to get all the way across the diamond there. That's a long throw. It probably doesn't look like it, but I'm telling you, Nunez, you saw him hump up to try and get it there, and there he is. Those are the guys right there, and I'm telling you, that is really smoking fast. It's 90 feet away.
Well, the coaches wear helmets now because of what happened to Mike Coolbaugh back in 2007. He was struck in the coaching box at third base in a minor league game and died because of it. And then baseball decided, well, our coaches need to wear helmets. But it gets on you, whether you're an umpire, whether you're a coach or a fan.
Yeah, they put the netting up so the game continues to get safer and safer.
Greiner hustles back. Iglesias' big game yesterday, including an opposite field 2-run homer. His first of the year. Tries to bunt right through it for a strike. 1-1.
Good idea, because he's got Beltre way back, but again, just got to take your time. Iggy's trying. We've seen him bunt a couple times. He's been out practicing on it. And let it come to you. Hit it right off the end of the bat. That'll deaden it. 3 for 7 with a homer in this series.
Strike call.
Angel's getting loose back there. He's we had Bill Miller the other day. Angel is rated, I think, 5th or 6th. 2 of the most active strike callers in Major League Baseball.
This would be a good time for your umpiring report,
Yeah,
Mr. Hernandez.
Take a look. We go over the left-handers and the right-handers. Goes outside pitches more often. Goes further outside on the left-handed batters. He's got a wide outside corner. More high pitches to the right-handed batters, and we saw Hicks just get taken out on that. That was McCann, I'm sorry.
1-2 on Iglesias. Tigers have a pair of hits. They had a triple from Matuk in the first, but stranded him. Griner, a 2-out infield single. Bouncing ball to second. Connor Falefa backs up, throws him out, inning over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Here comes the bottom of the second.
I mean, they're gonna probably make some few mistakes on the field, but that's a learning process. But you know, matter of fact, you know, the Rangers also doing the same, bringing some young players into the big league. But you know, those are the future of the you know, for the organization. You know, this is the future for the organization here in Detroit. But I think the key is just let them play. Let them do what they can do, be patient, relax, and just enjoy them watch.
The words of Pudge Rodriguez, the former Tigers catcher, on what it's going to be like for Tigers this year. That's a fair ball. And it's going to take a curl on Griner, and it's going to stay fair. That's going to be an infield hit.
He touched it. It would have went foul. I'm not sure. The hands did not go up from Angel. And Griner kicked it, or it hit something. If you watch, he comes out. It's a good pitch. Yeah, he kicked it, went foul, and Angel correctly rules it a fair ball.
Right there. So put a man on now with nobody out. Here's Ryan Rua.
The ball had spin on it.
Ball 1-2, Rua. Left fielder today for the Rangers.
Looked like he was going to bunt, but didn't really square around.
That ball in the air to shallow right field. It's going to be Goodrum coming in, still coming in, and Nico in foul ground, able to snatch it. One gone. Hey, the Tigers take on the Mariners this Saturday, May 12th at 4:10. The first 20,000 fans receive a free 1968 50th anniversary tote bag. Tickets can be had by calling 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. We'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 68 team all season long. Here's Carlos Perez.
Who's your favorite player off that team?
Well, I was a little young at that point. I was only, when they won it, I was only 5 years old. I mean, I barely remember that club, but as I became a Tigers fan, I would probably say either Mickey Lolich or Al Kaline.
Those are my two guys. In fact, after the '68 World Series, we went, and my dad and I went and built a mound in the backyard, and I tried to emulate him because he was left-handed.
Yeah.
3 victories. Denny McLain had the big season that year. Was it 30 wins? 31.
31 victories.
But Lolich was the guy in the World Series that got the wins.
And Perez looks at a ball inside, so the command struggles continue now for Liriano.
I would try the outside corner because he's not calling the inside corner, and scouting report says wide. May get a few more pitches out there.
Perez, a late addition to the lineup for the Rangers. Robinson Chirinos with a sore wrist was a scratch. Perez caught the ball game last night.
Just keep an eye on where the umpire sets up.
Hard hit up the middle, should be 2. Iglesias, Cosma, and a double play. That'll end the inning 6-4-3. When we come back, we'll chat with last night's winning pitcher Mike Fiers as we go to the 3rd. Third now here in Arlington. Mike Fiers, the winning pitcher last night for the Tigers, went 5 1/3, scattering 6 hits, punched out 5. Mike, thanks for joining us. First of all, secondly, congratulations on a really good effort last night. Talk about that effort, because you kind of maneuvered your way through a pretty decent lineup here in some really warm weather.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. But yeah, this team can definitely swing it over there. So I mean, one swing in the bat from one of those guys, and it changed the whole dynamic of the game. So a couple of guys got on a couple times, a couple innings I had some trouble, and I was just able to work out of it. You know, me and McCann were on the same page pretty much the whole time, and you know, I just trust him with everything. And you know, like I said, we were able to work out of some jams and keep us in the ball game, keep that lead.
Pete Cosma starting things off here for the Tigers in the 3rd.
Hey, Mike, it's Kirk Gibson. We were watching Bartolo Colon here, who's even, well, he's pretty old, but it's pretty amazing. We're showing just like the different finger pressures that he uses and the little wrist difference in his release. How long did it take you to learn how to do that? You're more, would you consider yourself more of a finesse pitcher, using the batter's aggressiveness against themselves?
I would say that I'm kind of a power pitcher, but I don't throw as hard as a lot of power pitchers, if that makes sense. I use my four-seam fastball a lot, but at the same time, I got to throw on my off speed to keep the guys off balance. But I throw the four-seam fastball up high, and that one's gone.
Cosma has put a charge into this one to deep left field, and it is gone.
I had first pick tonight.
But yeah, I mean, just keeping the guys off balance, using everything I can, you know, curveball, changeup, cutter mix, and then using that four seam up and having those guys chase it up. A lot of these guys like the ball up so they can drive the ball out of the park, but just go just a little bit higher than high and get a swing and miss.
Hey, by the way, you're a pretty good hitting instructor. We just found out.
I am?
Well, you called that one.
Well, I saw the swing and I heard it and it sounded pretty good, so I figured it was gone, especially with the way the wind's blowing right now.
You know, I might have to adopt that home run call. That was out of here. There's a bouncer into right field and a base hit for Jones. But Mike, you come over from the Houston Astros, and obviously that is a team that has some pretty good players, and a lot of them still very young players. You won it all last year. What can that experience, can you bring to this ball club?
Yeah, you know, seeing, you know, a lot of those guys are very young and but very mature for their age, and you know, they come to the ballpark with, you know, a very high confidence and just they believe in themselves, and I think that's the first key to, you know, playing well, is really believing in yourself, believing in your stuff, and just really going out there and compete and have fun. And those guys over there in Houston definitely do that, mixed in with some, you know, veteran guys like you know, Brian McCann, and I mean, with, you know, Beltran when he was there, and it's just a good mix of guys, and you know, they're playing well, and they're going to be playing well for a while.
Jamer Candelario, the batter. We're chatting with Mike Fiers, who spun a beauty last night as the Tigers heaved up this series against the Rangers.
And Mike, I know you got drafted in 2009 in the 22nd round. Your first game, when you got called up to the Brewers, you had a perfect game going. Was it the 7th or 8th inning? And you ended up giving up a one-hitter.
Yeah, against the Dodgers. Yeah.
And then you ended up throwing a no-hitter. What's the difference?
Oh man, just, you know, it's tough, and you know, every start out there, you don't want to give up any hits or runs, and you know, those games you pretty much have it going on from the start, and you know, just from, you know, pitch one, you got to be locked in and you know, let your defense work behind you, but at the same time hit your spots and just get as much soft contact as you can, and just trust the guys behind you, trust the defense, and be confident and go after the guys. You know, you can't really be scared, I guess. You know, when I first came up, you know, you watch a lot of guys on TV, and you know, when you get to the big leagues, you're facing guys that you idolize. So it's really tough to you know, put that aside, put the names that are in the box aside, and just really pitch your game. And once you get out of that kind of mindset of, you know, who's in the box, and just worry about the stuff that you can do, and you know, how you can pitch, and you know, and then it all comes together, and you just go and just keep these guys are coming around.
Yeah.
You don't trust them?
Yeah, but no, not really. But yeah, you just got to trust in your stuff and do what you can out there. And
see, this is weak right here, Mike. This is really weak.
You got to have your old bottled water with you.
Former was kind of messing with me at first, and then a couple guys kind of caught on. So here we go.
Who's down there?
A guy by the name of Victor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys know him.
Got a death. Hey, Victor, how's the off day going?
They said hi, and nice homer yesterday.
So when you're going to the no-hitter, you get some pressure. Does that feel the same when you get 2 or 3 guys on and you got one out and you got to get out of it? I mean, does that help you relax?
I mean, in this game, I mean, especially at this level, I mean, they're just 1 through 9. I mean, it's tough lineups, and everyone has a, you know, reason for being up here, a certain skill that they have, and you know, just to figure out, you know, going into the game, the scouting report going in, you got to pitch to, you know, their weaknesses, but also stay at your strengths, and you know, pitch to your strengths, but at the same time remember what they're bad at, and or what the numbers say they're bad at, and just kind of trust all your coaching staff, and trust your defense behind you, and trust yourself, and you know, and go after them. Things happen. So, you know, you go into it thinking, you know, you're not really going after the no-hitter, but just trying to keep the game close and keep the boys in the game. And, you know, especially that game against the Dodgers, kind of kept going with no hits, and it ended up being 9 innings with no hits. So it was an awesome experience.
Jamer Candelario has just doubled down the right field line. The Tigers now have taken the lead 2-1, and they've got Mikey Matuk up there.
I'm going to be in trouble here. I can't give the guys high fives when they score.
Yeah, well, that's all right. That's funny. You know, with all the offense you're producing here, Mike,
yeah,
we got to get you on the air a little
man.
more.
Let's keep this going.
They should be coming to you.
So here is Matuk now with nobody out. Tigers string together 3 hits against Bartolo Colon. And Mike, you mentioned James McCann working with him in the ball game last time. When you come to a new organization, how long does it take you to get on the same page with the catchers in that system?
Well, a guy like McCann, I mean, he's very, you know, studious off the field. I mean, he does his homework. He really puts in his work. And, you know, me coming over here, I felt like it didn't take very long at all. And, you know, a guy like that really, you know, strives for, you know, his pitching staff and really does his work to better everybody here. And, you know, you just love that out of a guy. I mean, he'd rather take a, you know, well-pitched game and, you know, go 0 for 4 than, you know, for him to, you know, have a great offensive day and us pitch bad. So that just says a lot about him and, you know, a lot about, you know, what he wants for this team. He just wants to win and, you know, he does everything he can behind the plate to help us.
Fouled away. The count on Matuk now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Mike, I know you've got a pretty good relationship. It goes back a little bit with Boz. Is that a factor in coming over here, and how's it been to work with him?
Of course. I mean, a guy that really got me going, really. I mean, coming up through the minor leagues, being in AAA with him, you know, a step before the big leagues, and, you know, more so mentally than physically. I mean, you know, everyone kind of has a talent and, you know, getting to that level, but, you know, mentally preparing for this, for a big league year and, you know, facing these hitters and being in jams and being able to work out of them and, you know, not having success and coming back from those bad games and kind of putting it away. And, you know, just a mindset inside the game as well. I mean, just being aggressive, having that, that confidence and that ability to just go out there and think that, you know, you're the guy. You're the guy out there, and you're out there for a reason, and, you know, just to trust your stuff.
So you got to be tough to be a pitcher. We know that. And then the other one would be, you like to fish a little bit. You like the water. Is that what you do to relax after you get your ducking balls out there?
A little bit. You know, during spring training, I guess there's a couple lakes in Lakeland that I kind of go to and just kind of relax. But during the season, it's tough, you know, just because we play every day. And but definitely in the off season, I like to go fishing a lot too. You know, going out. I'm more of a saltwater fisher than a freshwater, but you know, just it's a relaxing thing to do and kind of a hobby to have. Just it doesn't exert too much energy.
Well, Mike, we're going to let you go. The only prerequisite here is don't move from that spot because we're scoring some runs, right?
Yeah. I'm going to stay right here with the headset. Just turn me off, and I'll act like I'm doing something here.
All right, Mike, thanks very much.
No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks and good luck.
All right, Mike Fiers there. A terrific outing last night for the Tigers, pitching them to a victory in Game 2. And now the Tigers have taken a lead here in Game 3 off Bartolo Colon. John Hicks is the first baseman today. He's 0 for 1. Trying to knock in Candelario from second. Hicks swings and fouls it off. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, kind of interesting talking to Mike. I consider him more of a finesse pitcher. He considers himself a power pitcher. I mean, just that's his. You see how your mindset is, because I would have a hard time off him because he places his fastball very well. He puts it up in the zone. He's really changed his speeds. He has great, you know, deception. But it's just, we were both talking about the same thing, but he's done a good job and threw a beauty yesterday.
Well, when you look at the makeup of this staff here for the Tigers, yes, they have some veterans in Liriano and Zim and Fiers, but he can bring that veteran element to the youngsters they've had in the rotation this year, like Norris, Boyd, Fulmer.
Yep.
Hard to beat experience.
Yeah, absolutely. They've overcome a lot. And when you're a teammate to somebody, you never know what may stick, you know. It takes all kinds of people to try and help you, and then hopefully something does resonate with you.
So Cologne strikes out Hicks, and he has had 60 pitches now here in the third. And it was Liriano that began the game with command problems. Here is Nico Goodrum. Ball one to Goodrum. He is filling in for Castellanos today. Nick is not playing, so Goodrum gets the call in right. And it's his only his second start in the big leagues in right field. He had one with Minnesota last year in September when he was called up.
Just had a tough catch down there amongst the ball boys.
Rolled foul.
Really likes that pitch inside. Makes himself susceptible to the slider breaking underneath his hands from time to time, but he likes that heater in there.
Goodrum is 0 for 1 with the ground out. Now 1-2. Inning started with the Pete Kozma home run, just called up from Toledo a couple of days ago. In his first Tigers at bat, he launched one to the bullpen and left. There are the flags ruffling in the stiff wind here today. Two and two. Bartolo Colon is 44 years old. He will turn 45 later this month. He is the second oldest Ranger to ever play in a game here in Texas.
He's the oldest in the game now, isn't he?
He is the oldest in the game right now. But Nolan Ryan was 46 when he threw his last game with the Rangers. And he's just struck out Goodrum to minimize the damage. Tigers get a pair. The first coming on the home run by Kozma, called by his teammate.
That one's gone.
That one's gone.
Later in tonight's game.
Well, Liriano has a lead to work with now for the first time this afternoon. Got the top of the order coming up. It'll be DeShields, Connor Falefa, and Nomar Mazara. And our thanks once again to Mike Fiers for joining us on the telecast here this afternoon. Brought the Tigers some good luck. The 2-run inning to put them ahead. Here's a ball missing outside, and the count 2-0 now on DeShields. And Liriano had a 31-pitch first, but only a 7-pitch second. But again, he continues to fall behind batters. And DeShields takes outside 3-0. Delino walked in the first, advanced on a wild pitch, and later scored on a single by Beltre. Strike called, 3-1.
Something that's very frustrating as a pitcher, you get the lead, you go and you get behind, you walk the leadoff guy. So he's definitely not trying to do this.
And there's ball 4.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Last inning, Pete Cosmo puts the Tigers on the board with the big fly. Mike Fires with the call. And Jamer down in the corner. Jacoby was on the move. It scores easily. Puts the Tigers up 2-1.
Here's Connor Falefa. Got to keep an eye on DeShields, who has 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts this year. And if nothing else, he will divide your attention.
Looked like he was going there. He's a reader, you can tell. Most base stealers go first move off a lefty. DeShields right there, setting Liriano up.
DeShields last year 29 stolen bases, but when you go back to his minor league days, he stole as many as 83 in a year. That was an A-ball back in 2012. That's a lot of bats. Liriano missing outside again.
Five balls in a row.
Connor Falefa pounced out in the first inning. 2-0.
Should have gave him that one. That's the same pitch he gave Colon on the can.
Chris Basio making a mound visit. Hey, you want to play with a pro?
Yeah.
All right, well, now's your chance. Play an LPGA player at the Volvic LPGA Championship Wednesday, May 23rd in Ann Arbor. For more details, enter for your chance to win. Go to foxsportsdetroit.com.
Don't know what it is about that game, but as bad as I am,
golf?
I'd love to do it. Yep. Just like to get you out there. Like I say, we start at putt-putt. Then we go to the range.
See, putt-putt's a good starting point for me, but it's also a very good ending point, because the golfing range will start to get ugly, and then when we get on the course, it gets really ugly.
I think you need to expand your horizons. That's all. You need to get a little uncomfortable.
It's one way of looking at it.
Make you better.
Not a fan of frustration, though. Meanwhile, here's the 2-0. Runner goes. And it's ball 3. Throw down to second is not in time. Stolen base. Number 7 on the year for DeShields.
Too good of a jump right there. Griner had no chance. Griner threw a little bit over a 205, 210. Major league average is about 2, but you want it to be right there on the foot. Yanked it. When runners get a good jump, you probably tend to rush it a bit. You got to watch him going to third now.
Now 3-2. Connor Falefa with Mazzara waiting on deck. Tying run in scoring position for the Rangers. Fouled away.
Liriano really struggling to find the strike zone to throw it where he wants to. 51 pitches, 27 of them balls. Interesting thing to watch. Now, how's he going to react? You don't really see him pouting. You can see him grinding. but pretty much keeping his composure.
Line drive to right field, slicing, fair ball. It's going to go to the corner. It curls around the wall. Goodrum having trouble with it. Connor Falefa, he's going to go all the way to third base. And the Rangers have tied it up.
Now, this is down in an unfortunate spot. You got to make choices to try and get that in earlier. I couldn't see from where we're sitting what happened, but he gets, look, it's going to go in there. Oh, yeah, you got to get right in there tight and hit the pole. Really nothing you can do about it, but you do have to make a good throw in. Luckily, this did not allow Kiner Falefa to get to take another base.
So two batters after giving Liriano the lead. He has surrendered it now. And here is Mazzara with the infield coming in a couple of steps. And a bouncing ball right to the third baseman. Candelario throws him out. Stayed with it nicely. Game break time now. John Keating. That's a great story, Keats, and he also made a nice running catch in right field later in the game, so I'm sure playing for his mom Gretchen, he had a nice contest for the Athletics. Here's Beltray now, the infield remaining a couple of steps in. And he drives this one in the air toward left center field. And Jones runs it down, but this will get the run in. Beltray with a sac fly, and the Rangers have the lead. That is the fourth RBI in 2 games now for Beltray.
Yeah, it seems like everything you throw up there, he's all over it. Then it's very comfortable, staying back good. He has a great career against the Tigers.
Here is Joey Gallo. Liriano struck out Gallo by staying away from him in his first at bat. He got him chase. Give you those numbers. Lefties not very good against Liriano. 088 coming in. That slider has been a devastating pitch.
He's got that angle too. He's over there on the left side of the rubber, or the right side if you're looking from home plate.
Swing and a miss.
He likes that target that he's throwing to, just the way he's set up. He doesn't look like Gallo can reach that pitch. So he's just dotting it down and away, down and away.
Went up top, struck him out swinging. Gallo retired, and the Rangers are done. They get 2 though to grab the lead, and Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Up this 3-game set here against the Rangers. It'll be James McCann to get it started now in the 4th inning. 3-2 Texas has regained the lead. Strike 1 on McCann, who fanned back in the 2nd. Back then Griner, and then Iglesias facing Bartolo Colon. And he threads the needle outside. 0-2.
Look at McCann. His balls are off the plate. Again, the scouting report, you know you're going to have to do it, especially with 2 strikes. He won't change. This one probably be a little further off.
Colon signed a minor league deal with the Rangers of the big league invite to spring training, and here he is. That one just missed. 2-2.
Well, it's a ball, but he has been calling it. Gardy looks relaxed there.
Usually does. Outside 3-2.
I thought Gardy had a really good game last night. You know, given everything that happened the last 2 games, I think he called everybody in, had a meeting. But I thought he managed a really good game, made all the right moves, went for it, and was rewarded with a well-played game and a victory.
When you managed, how much did you feel or sense that players kind of fed off the way you handled yourself in the dugout?
That's you sense it. I mean, it's important, because if you're out there yelling at the umpire all the time, everybody's going to be yelling at him. You don't want to do that. However, you do want to stick up for your players. But you want to keep your composure. You know, there are games when it's going to break out. You're going to have to. You know, I had a confrontation with Bob Davison, who was baiting my catcher, Mikel Montero, and he did it twice. And you know, I asked my catcher. I said, "Miggy, stay in the game. You know, I'll take care of it." And it happened. And it was quite entertaining. But the players stayed in as McCann to right center field, and it worked out in the end.
Let's check in now with Trevor Thompson.
There are a lot of cookie-cutter ballparks across the majors, but this is not one of them. Globe Life Park here in Arlington has taken some of the best aspects of some of the old-time stadiums across baseball and incorporated them here, including the home run porch here in right field, complete with the steel beam obstructed view seating. In center field, these arches over the windows, those are an ode to old Comiskey Park in Chicago, while the frieze around the upper deck across the park is for old Yankee Stadium, and there are plenty of nooks and crannies on the outfield wall and the playing surface. That's for old Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, guys. And Gibby, I've got a question for you, since I'm standing here in right field and the ode to old Tiger Stadium. With that prodigious power of yours, how many times did you clear the roof out there?
This one, never.
No, the one in Detroit, guy.
I don't know, a couple, 2, 3, maybe.
Couple, 2, 3, maybe. I know you know the number.
I don't.
I think it was 2. It may have been 3. I know 2 for sure.
A couple hit the, you know, they had that light tower up there. You had a couple hit those. I had one in the Brooks Lumber. It was measured, you know, at 523 feet. So they say.
Hey, Trev, what kind of view do you have out there?
I have a great view out here. It's a nice day out here, too. And it's a surprise just how many people are up here in the right field seats. It's practically full out here on a nice, hot, sunny day. But Gibby, back to Tiger Stadium. Was that ball that Reggie Jackson hit in that All-Star game, was that officially the longest one hit at Old Tiger Stadium?
That hit the transformer, didn't it?
Right,
yes.
That one.
So how do you measure it? But it was out of there quick. We all remember that, yeah.
Legend has it was still rising when it hit that. Is that true?
Well, that's what they say. I'll tell you, I think Frank Howard hit one over the left field roof.
That ball belted toward left field. On the move is Rua. He'll get there, and it's going to be a 1-2-3-4 for Bartolo Colon. Rangers leading 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the fourth now here at Globe Life Park. And it'll be Profar, Nunez, and Rua. 6, 7, 8 for the Rangers. Look out, spinning out of the way, but he nicked him. It'll be a hit batter. Jurickson. Profar is aboard.
Well, Francisco has really struggled with the leadoff. He walked to Shields to start the game, gave up a single to Nunez, then walked to Shields last inning, and now he's hit Profar this inning. So it's been tough leadoff men. Looking for the double play. He has one already.
Nunez an infield single. This one heading back at the seats, out of play. Again, Liriano had that 31 pitch first inning and then just 7 pitches in the second, but it went backwards again in the third. Pitch count now at 61 for Liriano. Nunez swings and misses. 0-2.
I wonder if the wind has anything to do with Liriano. You know, lack of control, I guess, today. Just doesn't seem to be able to get it and lock it in. Sure is battling though.
The 0-2. And he's hit by the pitch. Liriano hits Nunez with an 0-2. Back-to-back hit batters. And Francisco now trying to regroup. Yeah, you mentioned that wind, and you can see that both for Colon and Liriano, the uniforms have been ruffling. So it's pretty strong out there. But from the get-go, Francisco just has not had control today.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, maybe it's dried his hand out or something. The wind on his, you know, maybe he doesn't have a proper grip. His hand's not moist.
Ball 1 to Rua.
Sure needs a double play here.
Rua is 0 for 1 with the fly ball. Little chopper foul. Liriano went as deep in a game as he had all year in his last start. 7 innings against KC. Giving up 1 run. He threw 93 pitches. The most he has thrown in a game is 97.
Well, he's keeping the Tigers in this game, but he's burning a lot of energy, a lot of bullets.
Driven to center field on a line. That's going to be
Second
caught.
base.
They might get a double play here, and they will. Profar was off and running, and boy, is that going to help the Tigers.
That is what we're talking about. We talked about it in the open. Defense be ready, help him out. We were talking about ground balls too. Here's a line drive, frozen rope. Jacoby gets a really good jump on it, comes in. Profar just did not think he's going to catch it and returns too late, and the Tigers have a double play.
So it was not a conventional double play, but they'll certainly take it. Nice play by Jacoby. 2 gone now for Perez.
Yeah, he got a jump on that. He knew he was going to go for it early.
Liriano has been ball 1 on a lot of folks today. High, ball 2. He has gone 1-0 on 11 batters already in this game. That'll miss inside, and now he's gone to 3-0 on the number 9 hitter.
When you charge a line drive like that, your glove means a lot. We're gonna You look and see how Jacoby's got his broken in. That's a Rawlings glove. They have usually a little stiffer leather. And who was commenting? I think it was you. Did you comment to me how a lot of the hand of outfielders sticks out? And you can look. We're getting some looks here. Looks like Jacoby has maybe his little finger and ring finger all the way over in the little finger of the glove.
3-2.
Because when you're on the run like that, you have to extend, and that ball may not go directly in your glove. You need it to funnel in there. So he's got quite a bit of hand out there. Doesn't even have his thumb all the way in. I think he's got 2 fingers over in the all the way to the little finger of the glove.
Swing and a miss, and Liriano comes back to strike out Perez, and the threat is over.
Houdini.
Nice job by Francisco.
Peter Kozma in the
That one's gone.
3rd inning, called by his teammate. Home run that gave the Tigers a 2-0 lead at the time. It's now 3-2. They're trailing.
We had Mike Fiers on the air with us at the time of that home run. In mid-sentence, Fiers just let us know that was gone. And it was.
Well, what about his last home run? In
Detroit.
Detroit.
With Texas. Symmetry. Cologne throws a strike on the outer edge, 1-1.
Seems like Cologne is getting more pitches on the outer part of the plate than Liriano is.
Kozma, Jones, and Candelario here in the Tiger 5th. Tigers playing without Castellanos today. Of course, Martin Cabrera on the DL. Vmart getting a day off.
Reverse lock.
Yeah, you called it on the open today, top of the show.
Still got some work to do.
Here's the 2-2. Kozma sends a ground ball. Cut off at third there by Nunez. His throw is high, throw it away. And they'll give Kozma second base. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickups on the road. You could just see that play develop when Nunez made a little pirouette.
Yeah, I mean, that's the second one he's misthrown over there, so he's kind of in the same boat that Nico was over in Kansas City when he had to start at third base. Let's take a look. He goes to his left. You got to learn how to kind of probably had a little more time in that to throw it. Get your feet around when you're going to your left. You got to get on top of it. When you're going one way, you got to feather it in there the other way.
Ground ball, base hit left field. Cosman to third. They're going to stop in there, and the Tigers now have something going here with 2 on, nobody out. Jones with his second hit.
Ball is away. It kind of runs over middle, right in the between the shortstop and third baseman. This is good stuff. Let's have an inning here, huh?
Tigers have their 6th hit, and that'll bring up Candelario. Jamer doubled down the right field line in his last at bat, knocking in a run. Ball 1.
Looks like he's seen it good, huh?
It's kind of been that way all year for Candelario. He's always seemingly in a great hitter's count. Little dive inside, 2-0, and again in a good hitter's count.
Saw him lay off that.
Candy's on base percentage this year is .366.
Good count to swing on here.
2-1 and the Tigers third baseman.
When you get into the 2-1s, the 3-1s, the 3-0s, those are high slug counts, meaning you see a lot of balls that are powered to the outfield. Gappers, doubles, triples, homers.
Bartolo Colon in his 21st season, 241 wins. He has accumulated all of those with 10 different teams. And a strike in the outer edge. 2-2. Whereas Bartolo began his career with the Indians, had some big seasons there. 30 games over 500 in his Indians career. 10-foot lead for Jones. Way inside. 3-2.
Now Colon's going to throw a ball. It's not going to be down the middle. He'll either throw it inside and run it back on the plate, looking for the take on the strikeout, or vice versa, run it off on the outside part of the plate. Don't give up on it.
Runner goes, and it's a ball inside. That will load him up. With nobody out. Hey, Star Wars night is Friday, May 11th. The Tigers take on Seattle at 7:10. Come out early, take pregame photos with your favorite Star Wars characters on the Comerica Park Concourse. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. It's the first walk of the game now for Colon. We mentioned he doesn't walk many, only 3 all season. Chavez now beginning to stir with the bases jammed and nobody out. Here's Matuk. Ball 1 to Mikey.
Rangers do have somebody up in the bullpen, just started. So his leash is getting shorter.
And again, Cologne gets that call on a ball that was just a smidge off the plate.
Hitters know 2 inches, you know, an inch or more for sure.
Smothered there by Perez.
Do you believe that? Within an inch, I'm being generous. I'd say the good hitters know if it's on or off, period. What do you think? How good do you think you'd be down there? Think you'd be looking, or would you be a little nervous being in that box?
What do you think?
I think you'd be really good.
Here's the 2-1. Fly ball right field. This will be deep enough to score the run. Cosmo will tag and come home. Throw comes into second base, and Matuk has tied the game 3-3.
That's good at bat by Mikey. Came here, hit number 4 today. Triple his first at bat, comes up with men on first and third. I should say bases loaded, and gets one of the runs in. Now you got first and third, 1 out, still a chance. You remember what the last portion of my hitting with guys in scoring position was?
Onesie.
What did he just get?
He got a onesie.
There you go, onesie.
Here's Hicks, commonly known as Hicksy. He fouls it back 0-1.
How do you spell it?
Hicksie. Hicksy.
How about onesie?
O-N-E-S-I-E.
How
Is
about
the spelling bee or
how about
something?
number?
You know how to spell it. Here's the 0-1 ground ball to third. They might get 2 out of this. 5, 4, 3, a double play. Man, the Tigers have to settle for 1 run. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th.
Or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Delino DeShields will get it started here for the Rangers. Brand new ball game again. 3-3 is our score. DeShields leading off an inning for the 3rd time today. In his previous 2 times, he's walked and scored. And again, Liriano missing ball 1. 301 batting average for DeShields. There is ball 2, and this has been an issue all day long now for Francisco.
Yeah, 2 walks. He's really Probably in his head right now. He knows he's trying to throw it right down the middle. A change piece there.
Two and one on DeShields. Kiner Falefa to follow, then Mazzara. And bunted foul. Here's graphically what we're talking about with Liriano in terms of first pitch strike, 6 for 19.
Not very good.
And 6 times today he's gone at 2-0, which hitters then begin licking their chops. Here's the 2-2. Low ball 3. So both starters today with a high pitch count. And DeShields walks again for the 3rd time. Liriano short armed that one. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. It's made available by Oakland University. So the last thing that Gardy wanted to see again is the Tigers tied up. The leadoff man is on.
Yeah, now you got to ask yourself, this guy gets on, what are you going to do?
And again, ball 1.
Those pitchers are out in the bullpen right now baking. The way the sun comes around the stadium. JJ, not JJ, Blaine Hardy.
Blaine Hardy. Liriano today 4 walks and 2 hit batters. He had not hit a man at all coming into the game today, and then he plunked Profar and Nunez to lead off the 4th.
Had a stolen base. DeShields did his last time he walked.
Kiner Falefa tripled in a run his last at bat, and he looks at a strike. '11th RBI of the year. He came in 3 for his previous 26. Ground ball, base hit, right field. DeShields rounds the bag but holds as Goodrum gets it back in. 2 on now. We check in with Trevor Thompson.
Gibby, you just made a point about being exposed out here in the sunlight in this bullpen. Not only are you baking because of the sun, but they've got a concrete wall back here that the sun bounces off of. It's not grass, it's turf inside the bullpen. That generates a lot of heat. There is a little dugout section back here that you can get some shelter from the shade with a fan on and watch the game through a monitor. But if you want to watch it live, you are completely exposed to the sun in the Tigers bullpen. While on the Rangers side of things, the overhang shades them. They don't have a concrete wall, and the guys back there have a big fan at each end blowing on them, so it's considerably cooler, and they definitely have an advantage over here and have created a disadvantage to opposing teams, pitchers with their bullpen over here. So definitely something that these guys are trying to take into consideration.
All right, Trev, thanks for Blaine Hardy coming in out of that bullpen. Liriano did not have it today.
Who's coming in?
But Texas now with 2 men on, nobody out. Wall side windows change. Here is Blaine Hardy.
Came in last night, got an out. Second game. Was held to. Had great season down in AAA so far. We hope it continues great today.
Hardy was named the starter for Sunday's game against Seattle coming up. That'll be the final game in that series. He'll get some activity today leading up to that. But here is Nomar Mazara. DeShields and Kiner Falefa on the bases. And Mazara looks at strike one. Liriano goes 4+2 batters in this game. 4 walks, 2 hit batters, and he surrendered only 4 hits. Mazara sends a grounder up the middle, could be 2. Cosma, Iglesias, and a double play. Boy, the Tigers, they have turned a lot of double plays this year.
Lead the American League.
2 gone.
Pete Cosma is a real good fielder. He comes up perfect right here. Look at Iggy. Gets it, comes right across. They cut him down. Good flip. Iglesias gets out of the way. They can't get him. That's a big play. Now let's finish it off. They're going to walk Beltre. That's smart.
Definitely, because Gallo has had 0 success against Liriano, another lefty. He's 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts. And so Gallo will step in there. He has hit a lot of strikeouts this year.
Well, he saw Blaine Hardy last night, so he knows what he's going to get. And Tigers, again, you have to be aware if Beltre does take off from first, what are you going to do? Are you going to cover it, or are you not going to cover it?
Gallo has fanned 51 times already this year. Only Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees has struck out more. Last year, Gallo struck out nearly 200 times. Way outside. Now he's going 3-0.
Just drives managers crazy. Make a good pitch, get the double play. You're 3-0 in the next hitter that he wants you to get.
Tigers tied it up with a run in the top of the 5th inning. 3-3. Ball loose now from the bullpen of the Rangers. 3-1 on Gallo. Swing and a miss. He let it fly there. 3-2.
Yeah. Last night he shortened up a little bit, but not on that one.
Ooh, he walked him. A close pitch from Hardy. Now they're loaded up.
He's got a matchup he doesn't like.
Well, he got the double play. They walked Beltre intentionally to get to the lefty, but then he fell behind 3-0, so that kind of foiled the strategy. There's Boz, who is not happy with that walk. Here is Profar. Strike one on Jurickson. Profar hit by a pitch in the 4th. Shield chalking down the line at 3rd base.
Nowhere to put him. 1-1 count. 2 outs. 3 all tie.
Hardy went down to AAA and tore it up 3-0 with a 0.74 ERA and 30 strikeouts in a little over 24 innings. Fouled away. 1-2 now on Profar. Tigers have turned 3 double plays in this game, 2 on the ground, 1 on a line drive to center field. Now time called.
Tigers have turned coming in today 36, so they got 2 today. That's 38. That ties them with Toronto with 38, with a lead in the league.
Tigers had to go fairly deep into the bullpen last night. Farmer, Stump, Jimenez, Green, Hardy.
Off day tomorrow, they'll go deep again.
Low ball 2.
Got to throw a strike. No reason to go to 3-2 here.
Here are those numbers in Toledo for Hardy. The opponent's batting average was 136.
Got to take that field right there in the mound. Like I said, you don't want to go any deeper.
Way high. They will go deeper. 3-2 now, which means everybody will be on the move.
2 walks. Actually 3 walks already, right? This inning?
Yeah, 1 intentional.
4 walks.
3. He had 3 and a single. Popped him up. Shallow right field. It's going to be Goodrum under it, and that will take care of the Rangers. They leave him loaded. We go to the 6th. Loaded to the Rangers in the 5th, so we're tied at 3 as we go to the 6th inning here at Globe Life Park. Mario and Pepe Gibby here at the ballpark. Francisco Liriano just could not throw strike 1 in the ball game today. He departed early and just didn't have it today.
All game, and he's been known to walk a few people, but today you could just tell he did not have a feel. Walked Shields 3 times, and that, you know, you're not going to walk him. He's got wheels. He can create havoc, but he couldn't control it. However, the Tigers have hung in there, and they've got some good double play balls, and they're tied up here as we go. What are we in the 5th inning?
6th inning now. A little shorthanded are the Tigers offensively today. Of course, Cabrera and Martin on the disabled list. Castellanos couldn't go, and still the Tigers battling here. It's got a wall side windows pitching change for Jesse Chavez. And he'll deliver down low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nico Goodrum. Goodrum, McCann, Griner in the 6th inning. 2-1.
Looks like he likes his slider a little bit.
Ripped to right field. That ball gets down and goes to the corner. Nico has extra bases. He will cruise into second, and the Tigers have a leadoff double.
Really likes that ball inside. We were talking about it in an earlier at bat. Pulls his hands in. He seems to get bat head through very quick, a bit late. 93 mile an hour, and he tucks it down into the corner. He runs good. Thinking about 3, but they retrieved it in Mazzara very quickly, so leadoff double. James is going to be trying to go over to the right side of the diamond. Advance Nico. Leave it up to Grayson Griner to get him in.
Ball 1. Chavez was originally drafted by the Rangers. He's been around a while in different teams: Oakland, KC, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Atlanta, and the Dodgers as well. Outside, 2-0. Both Colon and Liriano, the starting pitchers, out of this game.
Struggled with location. Runs the pitch count up.
Inside corner for a strike, 2-1.
And if you're the manager, you know you still got to get as many innings out of your starters, even if they are struggling. But once they get to a certain point with their pitches, you just got to take them out. So Liriano really struggled through 5 1/3. Actually, he went 4 innings. Hardy got 1. Over on the Rangers side, Colon 5. Now they've got Chavez in.
Leonis Martin.
Yeah, he's unable to play, but he can talk.
He can talk. Ryan Gardenhire has told us about that several times. He's constantly chattering on the bench.
When I walked by him, you could see visibly he had part of his leg was very swollen up where he's injured. He did have an MRI. I don't know if they have reports. He did not have a splint or anything in, but there he's just making his way.
Now the 2-2, and it's a ground ball up the middle into center, base hit. Goodrum rounding third, scores. RBI single for McCann, and the Tigers are back on top 4-3.
James right on time. He's got that easy, soft foot, not drifting. Breaking ball, look at he's not jumping, he just lets it come to him. This is the best we've seen him this year so far.
Hitting streak now at 8 straight for McCann.
Let's take a look at the side swing. Look at he just steps out with that leg, keeps his base 60 towards the back, 40 on the front. He's feeling good as he's got to throw over. Makes you feel good. Dangerous over there, McCann. Just joking.
Really? I thought you were serious.
He does. He will go. Like, remember he took off the other day because they just don't even look at him when he senses that. He just starts hopping off, gets a huge jump and goes. Probably why he got the throw. Again, scouted by the Rangers. They know it's possible. Just give him an early reminder.
Griner, the batter. Lost that one off his foot. 1-1 on Grayson, who singled and struck out. He's 1 for 2. Liriano officially goes 4+, allowing 3 runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks. 81 pitches for Francisco.
Got a really good shot of the McCann side swing. Great for teaching. Get a foul ball here, we'll get after it.
2-1 on Griner.
Want to show your kids, you're going to want to film it.
McCann now has hit safely in 17 of his last 20. Swing and a miss. He chased up top. 2-2.
Cologne again, pretty much all fastballs. It's amazing how many he throws, huh? But he's got to have movement because he keeps him off balance.
Line drive, center field. Shields coming on, makes the catch. That ball looked like it might drop in.
So we're going to go back to James McCann. We'll get one from earlier this year. Look at that front foot. He steps out. He still has weight on his back leg. His hands don't drift. The head doesn't drift. Look at the path. He just, that is perfect. And he fouls through to the big part of the field. And there you have it. Big
Textbook.
hit.
So with one out, here is Iglesias.
So calm.
Iggy ground out, fly out. Tigers have gone ahead with a run in the 5th and now one here in the 6th. 4-3.
Heat's kind of settled in. This game has slowed down quite a bit. A lot of action, but a lot going on in between.
'85 is our temperature right now.
Fans going out there. They got the old homemade fans.
Pulled foul.
Warm breeze. A lot of Tiger fans, as always, when you come down here. Why is it everywhere you go you got Tiger fans?
They really do travel extremely well.
I would say Arizona's another big one. The Angels is big. Where else would you say?
Strike called on Iglesias, and he is out of there. Really, I mean, you go to a lot of the Midwestern towns, Chicago, big Tiger fan travel. In Cleveland, they travel a lot, but in the West Coast as well.
Even Seattle.
Right. Which is the next destination for the Tigers after the next homestand.
Not going to make it this year. Been out there the last couple of years with the team. Rod and Mario will be going out there.
Great city.
Yeah, it's hopefully it won't rain every day.
In the air toward left center field. That's going to drop, base hit. McCann going to third. And the throw there, not in time. It gets away. Meanwhile, taking second is Cosma. And now the Tigers have him at second and third.
This is a great read. McCann read the ball, put the pressure on him, and the trail runner Cosma. This is about relays. Just watch these guys. Watch the lead runner McCann and watch Cosma trailing. He reads the flight of the ball, but he's hustled, and on he goes to second. James into third. Pete on to second. McCann running good right there for a catcher. A good route. Pumping those arms right in the third baseman's way. That'll be it for Chavez.
Cosma on base for the third time. Jose Leclerc coming in, and we'll be back. the wall side windows pitching change.
We're going to try to shut the Tigers down as they come to the top of the order. Wall side windows pitching change. 10th games has held 1, ERA 2.45. Opponent's only hitting 111 against him.
With Clark, a 24-year-old Dominican.
If you're Jacoby, you know you're going to see some breaking balls.
Couldn't hold up. 0-1.
So you should have a real good idea now what's going on. This is your 3rd game. You got to find a way. That's a chase pitch. That's when you want to wait. You need to start recognizing that ball is going to start where it's going to start and end being a strike, where it's going to start and end being a ball.
Two singles and 3 at bats for Jones in this game.
Here we go. Runners in scoring position situations. Got to get good pitch. Got to think middle. Think about getting 1. Although you can get 2 here because you got a guy on 3rd and 2nd.
Two and 1 on Jones. Jamer waiting on deck. Chavez facing a total of 5 batters, gave up 3 hits.
So the slider, he's got a good idea how far it's breaking right now. He's got to start about right there.
Missed again, 3-1.
Anything else you're going to want to let go. So if it starts down the middle, it's going to break off. We'll get Jacoby in there. So if it starts about right here, it's going to be right there where you want it. Hopefully you can see that on your screen. Oh, right there. That's what you got to work on, recognition.
Full count, 3-2. Walked in ball 4. That will load the bases. Jacoby on for the 3rd time.
Candyman's got a chance to have a big day right here.
He's your guy, right?
He is.
Johnny Barbado is in the Tigers bullpen. Let's break this thing open here. Candelario double, a walk, and an RBI. Candelario with his double in the 3rd now has 20 extra base hits.
Let's make it 21.
Swing and a miss. One ball and 1 strike. Candy came in with 15 RBIs. Strike call now, 1-2. That one right at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, you don't really want to hit. It's going to be a grounder anyway. Big 2-out hit right here.
Lookout pulled foul, back to the Ranger dugout.
Time for the DTE Energy. Know your own power. Went big fly to left center field. That led off the game in the 1st inning. Actually, 2nd hitter. Tigers never looked back.
Swing and a miss. Candelario down on strikes, and the Tigers leave them loaded, but they get a run on the RBI hit by McCann. Is our score. Nunez and then Rua and Perez, bottom three, facing Blaine Hardy. And in there for strike one. Hardy came on in the fifth inning, got a big double play. Tigers have turned 3 of those here this afternoon. They'll get back out of play.
Blaine Hardy come in with good control, did get out of it last inning on a 3-2 count. Can't walk anybody, can't make any mistakes on your fielding. Just pick those up from this point out. Feel confident that the pitchers will do their part, hold up their end of the bargain.
Renato Nunez has been on base twice, single hit by pitch. Those 2 at bats against Liriano. But lasted 4+2 batters here today.
Yeah, they'll go right after him right here. I know a lot of pitchers like to set guys up and waste a couple of pitches. I'm more up for the let's go after him. There you go.
Up top to strike him out, 1 gone. A look now at the big boys, big plays, and well, we got Kirk Gibson featured here. We're talking about how many times Gibby cleared the roof. There's one.
It's steamy. I think they're always at night.
There's 2.
That Mike Brown hit him. I actually hit it like an inside to Parker when I was behind Lou Whitaker the next at bat. That's fun.
I would imagine when you hit a ball out of the ballpark, you barely even felt the ball off the bat.
Yeah, you don't. It's just you can feel the bat flex. You slowed that way down. You'd see those ash bats. It would flex 30, probably 35 inches long, 33, 34 ounces, and just jumps. Does it make sense? Doesn't feel that way very often. Every guy out here, it's a very tough task to hit a moving target with your bat. I'm going to try and hit a ball this weekend. I got to take BP.
Do fine. When was the last time you swung a bat in a cage?
10 years. At an actual thrown object. So that ought to be interesting.
You got to video it.
Probably rip something.
No, don't say that.
No, it happens. He tried to water ski last year and ripped my hamstring. It seems everything I do.
2-2 on Rua.
Probably should just do some things that are more relaxing. We'll get to that later. Mario kicks me out of the booth after today. Big boys up here.
You got a nice little stretch coming out. Swing and a miss. So Hardy gets another strikeout, his second of the inning. Time for a game break now with John Keating. All right, Keats, thanks. That ball lifted in the air to right field, and Nico will haul it in. Blaine Hardy, nice work here in the sixth. A 1-2-3 inning. And pick the stick update, and who's leading so far today? Looks like Trevin Keats. Simo rolling with a -1.
A lot of points coming on the board.
He's got 3.
I think I'm coming after Simo. I might catch him today. Been a productive trip.
You've had some big games.
Well, just steady. You know, I've been picking guys that have already struck out once, you know, when I'm not around to defend myself. You guys try and see the reaction, that's all. Not going to bite.
Here is Mikey Matuk. He waves and misses 0-1.
Mikey's been good since he came back. Triple in the first, but he had a sac fly, didn't he?
Yeah, that came in the 5th inning. So 2 of the newcomers today, whether it's Matuk or Cosma, they have really chipped in and helped out. Cosma, homer, on base 3 times.
Nico's not a bad game.
Two and one on Matuk. Mikey's sent down in the minor leagues after a slow start. Had to be difficult for him. He was at the major league level the entire year last year and really had a good second half. Established himself as a starter coming into this year.
Everybody's got pride. Beyond you want to be here, you're hurt by it, disappointed, maybe you feel like they didn't stick with you long enough. But the reality of it is it's a good option for management and front office and the coaching staff to send a player down there. Not necessarily for everybody, but it is a good option to go down there. It's more relaxing. The competition is not as good as it is day in and day out here. And it can help get you back on track. And that's what they hope to do with Mikey. And I think they had a roster situation at the time. We needed another pitcher or something. Who'd they bring up? And, you know, it's just it's an eye-opener. You want to be on the roster, stay on the roster, which I believe he did, but he had an option. He had to go down.
Swing and a miss. Leclerc strikes him out. One gone here in the 7th. We check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Maury, I'm out here near the batter's eye. It's called Greens Hill, and not because it's green grass, but because it's named after former Texas Mayor, Arlington Mayor Richard Green. They were going to make this into a picnic area, but never opened it up for a picnic area. But the fans in this area can run out here and grab home run balls that land here. And whenever the Rangers hit a home run, they've got 4 lovely ladies over here who make a lap around the batter's eye with the Texas flag saluting the Texas Ranger. They just hit the homer. So it's one of another unique feature of Globe Life Park here in Arlington.
Did they do it for the visitors, Trev?
No such thing, Gibby.
Well,
but they don't throw the visitor baseballs back on the field. I have noticed that.
Here is Hicks, and he swings and misses. Well, you really can't mess with the hitter's background, right? I mean, you can't put picnic tables out there because that would mess with the hitter's backdrop. At least I would think.
Well, you could, but don't know how.
Yeah, but then you would have
it'd
people
stay
in
there.
white shirts out there, and you'd have hitters complaining.
Yeah, that's not fun. Big breaking balls.
Leclerc up to 20 pitches. 1 and 2 on Hicks. Swing and a miss. 2 gone. Leclerc has struck out 3 in a row now.
That's curveballs.
Hey, the Liney Summer Party Pack is back for every Friday and Saturday Tigers home game. Includes a game ticket and a voucher for a beer starting at just $19 per person. If you'd like tickets, go to tigers.com/Liney. 19 bucks per person. That's pretty good. 2 outs, and Nico Goodrum looks at ball 1.
Reasonable, you mean? Very reasonable.
Diekman warming up. Nico had a double to set up the go-ahead run in the 6th. Meanwhile, Barbados still throwing in the Tigers bullpen. It'll slide in there for a strike.
Tigers have an off day tomorrow. They're going to miss Jordan Zimmerman's spot. They won't need a starter till next Tuesday. So they've got the extra position players with the team now.
Yeah, Zim feels he will make or miss just 1 start, which would be good news, especially considering how he pitched in his last 2 games. That wind really kicking up at home plate now, bothering Goodrum.
Yeah, it's amazing because it looked like Zim felt really good. He threw the ball well for the last 2 starts. Little did we know he was dealing with that inflammation.
Checked it. No, he did not. He went around. Strike 3 call. Leclerc strikes out the side and has fanned 4 straight Tigers. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. Singles and a run scored, and Gibby, one thing we found with this team is that they're going to battle regardless of who is in the lineup. And today, good example. They've got some guys out with injuries, guys out that need rest. And here they are. They've got the lead midway through this game and beyond.
Yeah, everybody's contributing. Nico's done a good job today. James McCann's been coming around. You know, he started slowly, but he's been raking pretty good, and he's done some damage today. You get the home runs, and I think Gardy, he believes in it, and he keeps talking about it, and then that in turn helps the players believe in it, and that's just how it works. You know, things are down, and he walks around on a daily basis with a positive attitude. He's upbeat. This team comes out, and they really get after it, and they've done a good job. They've got their better players are off, not on the playing field today, but they're still playing tough, and they got the lead going into the last couple of innings.
And Pete Kozma, in his first Tigers game, has reached base 3 times, including a home run. So they are getting contributions from some of the newcomers.
You got a wall side windows pitching change. Johnny Barbado. See Gardy going a little deeper into the bullpen. Everybody's got to step up. Barbado's had a couple of appearances. This is his 3rd game. Only 3 innings so far. Good pressure spot to be in. A lot on the line. Let's see what he's got.
Meanwhile, DeShields is leading off for the 4th time in this game. He has walked the previous 3 times. And he'll walk again. That is the 4th walk for DeShields, who with his speed represents the tying run and a threat at first.
Really nothing you can say about it.
It's a career high now, 4 walks for DeShields. Zach Reininger, Daniel Stump in the Tigers pen.
Carty's going to empty it again today, just like he did yesterday with the off day. He's going to go.
Bunting toward third base. Candy will throw him out. And going to third to Shields. He is out at third. DeShields tried to sneak an extra 90 feet, and he's gunned down.
You know, you could see it happening here. They had a communication over who's going to take the ball to go to first, and then DeShields had a good jump. But what they did this time was, instead of watch him because he had a good jump on him, as they moved, they're probably going to review this. Thought he had him. Watch him right up here. And a good strong throw from John Hicks. You see how he just stepped into it and threw a bullet. Yesterday maybe rushed it a little bit. And he's out.
And Shields knew it. He just walked out the field. What a huge play for the Tigers.
There again, Jamer made the call. You see how Hicks took his time? He didn't just throw it. We compared that to the other day. Here is Chevrolet's most dependable player. Now look at, there's communication right there. Candy calls him off. Watch Hicks, he takes his time, makes a good throw. But Candy's the one that saw the Shields coming again. Somebody was speaking up on the infield. Retreats. Good throw by Hicks. Good tag by Candy. And that's a double play. And look at Candy. He's psyched.
Big play for the Tigers. And now here is Mazzara facing Daniel Stump.
I think that's progress. We were in Kansas City the other day and nobody moved. They did today and got the out.
Mazzara walk, ground out, double play ball. Tigers really on the heels of back-to-back poor defensive games in KC and game 1 in this series. So progress indeed. If you look at the numbers on Stump, his 20th appearance now. That ball drilled in the air to deep center field and way back. And it is going to go. It's gone. A home run for Nomar Mazzara to tie it up. That's a gut punch. You get the big outs. And then Mazzara homers against the lefty.
Well, that makes it even bigger that they got the outs. That had been a 2-run home run had they not tagged out the Shields. And it's a tie game instead.
Here is Beltre now, and he looks at a strike. A run here in the bottom of the 7th on Mazzara's second home run in the series. He homered against Fulmer in game 1. Six home runs this month for Mazzara. It'll dive low and in. Beltre 2 more RBIs, has a single and has been walked intentionally. Roped to third, foul. One and two. Rangers now have homered in 13 consecutive games. And that is the longest streak in the majors this year.
They swing it. They like that ball out over the plate.
Ground ball to short, and Iglesias has it there, and Beltre is out. That'll retire the side. The Rangers tied up though in the Nomar Mazzara home run. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Well, we're all knotted up. The Nomar Mazara home run went 447 feet to tie this ball game.
Yeah, when he gets a hold of them, there are no doubters.
Kevin Jepson is in out of the bullpen now for the Rangers. Jepson threw in the ball game last night. Tigers got him for a run in the later innings of that game. Here's a strike called on McCann. That was in the 9th. Tigers got a run. Jepson's career began with the Angels. Way up top, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Seems like a lot of the pitchers come in and having trouble throwing strikes. Both teams.
There is Joe Jimenez warming up. Ranger bullpen ERA about 4.5. Two and one. Jepson has some closing experience in his background with the Twins. Had 10 saves a couple of years ago. Mac didn't go.
Wasn't he the Angels too?
He was with the Angels. And
came up young because he threw hard, wasn't ready.
He had only a handful of saves with the Halos. 23 years old is what his age was when he made his major league debut. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. Good way to start it. Leadoff walk here in the 8th. Want to play with a pro? Now's your chance to play with an LPGA player at the Volvic LPGA Championship Wednesday, May 23rd in Ann Arbor. If you'd like more details or if you'd like to enter, go to foxsportsdetroit.com.
Got a pitch runner.
Reyes for McCann. Here is Grayson Griner. Single strikeout fly ball for Griner. Pounded foul back out of play. That was the 3rd walk for Rangers pitching in this game. Tigers have walked a ton in this contest.
Seven.
Yeah, I got 7 of them. One of them intentional.
Seven walks, 4 hits. Given up by the Tigers.
Griner takes the ball up and in. 1-1.
Have that extra guy on the bench. It helps you. Going into today, they had V-Mart, Reyes, Machado, and Nick. So now we've used Reyes. I don't know if Nick's able to hit or not.
So Jepson continues to miss. 2-1.
I don't know if Griner has the bat control to do a hit and run here. Jepson about a 1-3, so it'd be marginal whether you'd want to run on that. If you do run, that infield is dry and you need to slide out further than you would when it's wet and early.
Missed again.
Missed that one.
Jepson had a little stare in there for Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, I saw some flinching going on.
Jepson last year spent the entire year at AAA. At last appeared in the big leagues in 2016 with the Twins.
It's got a kind of a quick turn. I've not seen an accurate throw yet. I think that Gardy probably will run. He may do it right here, 3-2 for sure.
Runner goes. Ground ball toward third. They'll get only one out. Throw to first is bobbled, safe. They'll get no outs.
So his third error.
Boy, Nunez is having a tough time today.
Second for sure. Now you're lucky Beltre isn't over there because he never makes an error.
E5. So the Tigers now have 2 on, nobody out.
He's had 3 bobbles down there. That's his second error. But just Gallo is having a hard time picking him as well. He's not throwing them hard over there. Nunez, he's kind of throwing them in between, giving him in between hops to pick, and it doesn't work. Love a hit and run right here.
They're looking for the bunt, and they're pinching in the corners. It is a ball low, 1-0. Now time called.
Yeah, just watch this from over top. Here they come. Watch how the second baseman's running to first base. The first baseman's running in. And it's a great time to put a ball in play because everybody's running out of their position.
Doug Brocale is out to have a conversation with Jepson and the entire infield.
Okay, now watch the second baseman's coming over here. He's coming in. So if you can hit a ball anywhere, it's going to be easy. It's kind of hard to stop when you have people on the move to get a ball that's hit behind you. However, you're guessing the pitcher's going to throw a strike. Because if you look here, they're going to come in. They're trying to take the bunt away from the first base side and making him bunt to the third base side.
Meanwhile, Jepson can't throw a strike. 2-0. You take the bunt off here to keep it on.
I like the action play. I'd put a hit and run on right here. I mean, it's easy for me to say Carty's not going to do that, or should he? But I'm sitting in the booth saying that.
Showing bunt, he'll lay it down. Gallo
did a good job.
Will get the out at first base. So a sacrifice by Iglesias, advancing the runner.
It's a high percentage play was Detroit played right there. Iglesias made a perfect bunt. Now you have second and third, 1 out. So they can walk Cosma and pitch to Jacoby or try and get Cosma.
Looks like Vimar's going to get a bat. So the Tigers will dip into the bench here, and Victor Martinez will hit for Cosma.
Pete's got 2 hits today. That's hard to do, but it is the right play again. They're going to change and bring in a new pitcher.
It'll be it for Jepson. So the Rangers go to the bullpen in a 4-4 game. We'll be back.
He's put on the Tigers uniform, loves it. 333 average, 10 extra base hits, 13 RBI, and he likes it. Feels comfortable. Had a home run yesterday. That's why Gardy has went to his switch hitting designated hitter. Knows he's comfortable, and he's going for the win right here. Now he's going to have to use Machado as well, so that'll leave him one guy on the bench. That's going to be Nick. We were talking about this. Do you go for it or do you save people? The answer is you go. Got 4 infielders that are all in. They're in tight. I would send the runner at third because you have the runner at second, which will advance to third even if he's out at the plate. Force the issue.
Reyes at third, Griner at second in a 4-4 game. And Vimart looks at ball 1 that curls inside and low. $18 RBIs, 2 out of 9 in the series, with 4 RBIs for Vimart. Martinez takes outside, 2-0.
You're gonna put him on. There you can see in front of the red is where it's got to be. Tigers should be able to score a run if he puts the bat on the ball.
In there, a strike called, 2-1. Victor homered off Matt Minor in the ball game last night, his 3rd home run of the year.
And it was right-handed. So that's probably his first home run right-handed, so they're not convinced yet, I guess.
He'll curl another one in there for a strike, and now 2-2 on Victor. Tigers trying to snap a 4-all tie here in the 8th. Mazzara tied it up with a homer in the 7th. Jones on deck, top of the lineup. Swing and a miss. He tried to hold up, and Victor is out of there. Called out by Angel Hernandez. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at our pitch by pitch. Actually, we'll bring it to you a little later. But he came back. Victor got ahead 2-0. Then he came with 2 breaking balls. Made it 2-2 and then went arm side fastball up and away, and Victor could not hold up.
So with 2 outs now, here is Jacoby Jones. Can he deliver? 2 singles and a walk. The infield back now with 2 away. Swing and a miss.
Now here's where you got to understand, how did he get Victor? Really got him with that breaking pitch right there, the off-speed pitch. That's his go-to. He can throw it for strikes as well. Might want to pick something from this point on. Get 2 strikes, you got to fight it off.
0-2.
So far, it looks like the Rangers made the right decision to get Jepsen. So he tried to unravel his situation.
Now Jacoby waits on an 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Diekman comes out of the bullpen with 2 big punch outs. Tigers trying to pair. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Tigers get 2 on. They sack him over by Jose Iglesias. They pinch hit Victor. Up 2-0 in the count, and then they come with the sliders. You got Victor on there, and then Jacoby Jones goes down on strikes. So Diekman comes in and gets the Tigers out of their situation. 5 out of the 8 pitches thrown were sliders, and the Tigers have a new pitcher, Joe Jimenez. 20th game for Joe. That's a lot of games for the youngster. He's in a tie game situation. We'll want to go 1, 2, 3 and get back in there and try and score some runs.
Joey Gallo will lead things off. Machado is the new second baseman. Gallo waves and misses. He has fanned a couple of times and walked in this game. And Gallo, another swing and a miss.
Getting the off speed. See, everybody, when you get in these situations, notice how hard everybody's swinging, right? Trying to end it.
Gallo's had 7 swings and misses at strikes today. Make it 8. That didn't take long. Jimenez strikes him out, 1 gone.
Express that time. High heater, 95 plus. Up in the zone. Tailing out of the zone. No way you're going to hit that.
Jimenez came on in the 8th last night, gave up a single, a double, and 1 out later, a base hit, couple of runs scored. Way inside, 1-0 on Profar.
He's really diving right there. He was really diving. He was diving over the plate, looking for the ball to be away, and then Tigers came in. Watch him dive, and he jumps. Good purpose pitch there. That'll adjust his approach.
Fly out, pop up, and hit by pitch today for Profar. Inside again. Tigers have 9 hits, but 9 men left on base. The Rangers 5 hits. They've stranded 6. Outside, 3-1. So Jimenez with that last one at 97 miles an hour. Joe had a really good month of April. In there is strike called, 3-2.
Look at how many behind count breaking secondary pitches you're seeing from both teams. That's why sometimes you got to sit on it.
Swing and a miss, and he's able to dust Profar. 2 gone.
Good comeback there, down 3 balls and a strike. Let's take a look. Here's our Xfinity high speed pitch. This season, the high and low 97. That's as hard as he's throwing this year that we've got. 80. Very slow as well. That's a 17-mile-an-hour difference from pitch to pitch. That's separation.
8 of his 10 pitches 95 and above so far. That last ball, breaking ball, that drops in. Renato Nunez hit by pitch, infield single. 0-2.
Throwing strikes. Get ahead. Attaboy.
Swing and a miss, and Jimenez strikes out the side as he puts away Nunez.
Got loose there.
1, 2, 3/8. Big Joe as he walks off the mound. We'll go to the ninth. Tied at 4. All right, guys, thanks. And Keone Kela has come on, the closer for the Rangers. 2, 3, and 4 up here, and here are the numbers on Kela.
Pretty dominating yesterday, or the other day. Throws very hard, throws a very hard curveball.
Kela saved game 1 in the series for the Rangers. 25-year-old, born in Los Angeles, Keone Kela. Checked it. Did he go? Did not. Joey Gallo is in left field. Ryan Rua is out of the game. Guzman comes into play first, so Guzman will hit in the 8th spot and lead things off in the bottom of the 9th. Ground ball to second. Right there is Connor Falefa, and there's one out.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. Remember when we had the big tag? Jammer, look at Jammer, he makes the play, now he gets back, hits with the throw. Got DeShields. Why was that so big? Well, Massara hit the home run after that. Kept the game tied. Had he not had the tag there, Texas would have taken the lead. That was in the 7th inning.
Here is Mikey Matuk now with 1 out.
Good time to bunt. Look at that infield.
Popped in the air to shallow center field. DeShields coming in, and 2 gone. Fans watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details.
This would be a good, somebody wants to call this right here. This would be a good one. Although he's probably going to get a breaking ball. The first one that Kela's thrown.
One ball, no strikes. John Hicks. Hicks is 0 for 4. He's fanned a couple of times and bounced into a double play. Swing and a miss. 97.
He's firm.
Kella was pretty much sitting at 98 in his first appearance 2 days ago. One and two.
Tardy there.
A 4-4 game in the ninth.
Gonna try and bounce this one.
Outside 2-2. Green and Soppold in the Tigers bullpen.
Hard to be a closer when you're on the road. Greeny will not come in unless we've got the lead.
Low ball 3. It's one of the aspects that's got to be difficult for managers is even if guys don't come in games, you still get them up, get them hot to come into games, and that has to count for something.
Yeah, you gotta, if you get them up, you gotta pretty much bring them in most of the time.
3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Kella strikes out Hicks. We're on our way to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 4.
Michael Fulmer and Blaine Hardy for the Tigers against Gonzalez, Felix, Hernandez, and James Paxton. He just threw the no-no, so Tigers have their work cut out of them. Seattle's a team that's coming on right now, so they'll have to get her together, play good games.
Warwick Soppold is in out of the Tigers bullpen and pitched the ninth. First one is in there for a strike called.
That's a wide zone there, somebody you'd like to see.
First at bat of the ball game for Ronald Guzman. He took over defensively in the top of the inning. Inside, now 2-1.
You're going to throw it in there. You got to keep it close to the body. Cannot let them get the arms extended. Most hitters are looking out over the plate.
On the ground up the middle into center field. It's a base hit for Guzman. just out of the reach of Dixon Machado, and the winning run is on now for the Rangers.
Got a top spin on this ball right here. When it first hit, I thought he was going to have it, but on the second bounce, picked up speed. Take a look. What a top spin. This field is dry now. Dry and hard. Just going to get through there much quicker.
Here is Perez now, the number 9 hitter, who I assume is up there to bunt. And he'll lay it down. This will get the job done. Perez sacrifices and moved Guzman to second, one gone. Now Delino to Shields. Four walks in the game for the Shields.
It's unreal.
He has also stolen a base and scored twice. Ball one.
Now, if he gets behind, he may walk him. Although Kiner Felifa.
Slap foul.
He has swung the bat well in the series. Triple and a walk today. He did hit into a double play.
Sappold is the 6th Tigers pitcher this afternoon, 5 out of the bullpen. And it'll bounce in the dirt. Now 2-1 on to Shields. Tigers had a 4-3 lead. Mazzara tied it up with a 2-out solo shot in the 7th. And it's been 4-4 since. Mazzara's second home run of the series. Inside, now the count goes to 3-1 on DeShields.
Now you got to ask yourself, if you're an outfielder, if it's a ground ball base hit, you've got to get it and get it home to cut down the runner at home. But if you get too shallow, you're opening up with a routine fly ball that could go in either of these gaps. So I'm looking how the Tigers are playing it. Jacoby's fairly shallow. Right field is shallow as well. Mikey a little deeper in left field.
Little chopper toward third. Candelario. And his throw is in time to get the Shields. 2 gone.
Got him. Finally.
So the runner is at third now with 2 away.
He takes his time and makes sure he gets a good catch and a good throw. And Hicks gets off there quick, so you don't think about it.
Here is Isaiah Kiner Falefa. Single triple sack in this game. Ball 1. In there, a strike called from Sappold.
No shift on the infield, straight up. Third baseman about even with the bag.
We went around 1-2.
He should get on Mazzara, who tied it up in the 7th with the home run. Mazzara's got a pretty quick bat. I mean, we heard he wasn't swinging that good. He has swung very well against us.
Good block by Griner, keeping that ball in front of him with the winning run at third.
Gets down, makes sure he gets nice and low, uses his chest protector. This is big. You got a guy in third, and that's hard when you got a curveball like that. I don't know if you noticed that ball went back to the right when it hit the ground.
Fly ball right field. Nico Goodrum is camping under it, and we will go to the 10th. Rangers threaten to leave the winning run at third. 10th inning on the way. Tied at 4 here in the final game in this series. Kella is still out there, his second inning of work, and that ball drilled to right field and hit well, and that ball is going to go up to the wall. Nico is on his way to second, and he is in with a stand-up double. Goodrum with a two-bagger.
He flies too, huh? He runs good. Jumped right on that. Ball's out over the plate. Almost hit off the angle part right there. Ball's down over the heart of the plate. Could have went to the right, but well played by Mazzara. Nico could have had a triple right there. Let's see how the Tigers are going to handle it.
So now Reyes will stand in. Came on as a pinch runner for McCann, stays in the game. In tight at the corners with a go-ahead run at second. Showing bunt, he bunts it foul, 0-1.
Very important you get it down here, or you pull it back and we do what they call the slash play. These guys are going to charge. Everybody's going to charge. You pull the bat back and hit it through the infield. You're going to be right on top of you.
No sign of bunt and a big swing by Reyes.
Like that.
0-2. How often did you utilize that slash play when you managed?
They're on it. I tell them to do it on their own, especially the pitchers. They come in, all you got to do is pull it back, just play pepper. They hit the deck quick. But, you know, this is part of the game that has to be executed.
And Reyes down on strikes.
This is 2 times. He doubled, Nico doubled in the 6th inning. We did not get him in as well.
"13 strikeouts for Rangers pitching today. Here is Griner with 1 out. Swing and a miss. He chased the cheese up top at 96.
Yeah, well, he's throwing hard, and it's just what you do, especially if you're young. You got to learn how to hit that. You notice he kind of jumped and went at that ball. Reality is you just got to swing more directionally straight to the ball. Shorter swing. Easier said than done. That ball's hissing when it's going by you. Telling you it is.
I believe it.
If it's right in the corner, it gets smelly.
Like that. 1-2.
Because of the white part of the plate, you can't burn it. The black, the little border black, that's that rubber part. It gets smelly.
Fouled away. Greiner may have caught the catcher in that backswing there, Perez.
I'll tell him to move back.
Exactly.
Want to catch that glove and get a base hit. Catcher's interference. They'll take anything right now.
Second big league start for Greiner.
We can have a 30-minute dispute with New York on the rules thing as long as we win it.
30 minutes is a little bit excessive.
Well, it might be, but I'm willing.
Swing and a miss. Kellis strikes him out, so he's come back with a pair of punch outs. 2 away.
Pretty nasty hook.
Man.
Goes straight down after 98 to 83.
Well, here is Iglesias. 0 for 3 plus a sacrifice. Trying to drive in Goodrum here with 2 outs. It's going to get past the catcher, go to the backstop, advance the runner.
Ball looked like it was off the plate. They think it's a foul ball.
Jeff Bannister said it was a foul ball. He's coming out to argue now. Well, I heard a noise. I don't know if that was the ball off the catcher's glove or the ball being fouled off, but you could tell Perez immediately ran after it.
He missed it.
I think you could tell by the catcher's reaction here. He knew it got by him and he had to go get it. A wild pitch is how they ruled it.
Good try. Really trying to keep it on the outside corner to Iglesias.
Now 0-2 on Jose.
Come on, Iggy. We were talking in the car on the ride home about this. Remember, Mario, last night? These situations.
I do.
Hopefully he's not tired right now. Long day, long road trip. This will perk you up if you get it to hit, though. I promise you that.
Bouncing ball up the middle, and it's going to be gloved there by Profar, and that will end the threat. Leadoff double stranded at third. Here comes the bottom of the 10th.
race out to a lead, but the Texas Rangers have come back to tie him 4-4. Look at the runners in scoring position. Detroit only 2 for 13. Texas 2 for 11. Pete Kozma 2 for 3. He had a home run to get Detroit on the board. Delino DeShields career high 4 walks at the top. He scored 2 times for the Tribe, or the Rangers. And opportunities are going wasted here so far in the late innings.
Here is Mazzara. He tied the game in the 7th with a 2-out solo homer. Tigers have left 10 more men on base in this game. They've had 10 hits.
Mazzara likes it out over the plate.
Hammer to right field on a line, and that ball is gone. A walk-off home run. And the Rangers pour out of their dugout. First walk-off of the year for the Rangers, and it comes at the hands of the Tigers. Final score 5-4. Rangers win it. Now we send you to the Call Sam Studios. John Keating with Tigers Live postgame.